until that time, I had been reassuring him about his older brother in Senegal, but this was something else. This was something new.
I never have a son who just got killed, and I started like just thinking about how he knows even about death at the time. It was just so scary and confusing.
He seemed to be concerned, and we would have to explain to him, honey, we don't know this brother you're talking about. Your brother that you have is in Senegal, and he's alive, and he's fine. And he would say, no. He wanted me to tell him what happened, but I had to explain to him, I don't know what happened.
I was in the army and I went to some wars. I don't know how a 2-year-old gonna be starting talking about war. And I never told him about me being in the army. I don't know where he really got it. He was mentioning people getting killed.
Things were quiet for a while, and then something else happened. Alaji started telling me about dreaming. It started to get a little more intense when he was older. He would scream in the middle of the night, and I would have to come in his room and console him. He would say that he dreamt about war.
He's gonna be talking about the killings and all those people coming to him. I'm trying to explain to him not to believe in whatever he's seeing. He's so scared. Sometimes even he's gonna get up in the middle of the night. He has to have the lights on all the time or the TV on all the time.
He would say that he dreamt about war, and he would still say things about his brother.
I just don't want him to believe in that, and I always explain to him, no, you don't have a brother, you are LRG, you are my son. But sometimes he's just saying it like he know what he's saying.
All of the details that Alaji has been saying throughout the years have been consistent. They haven't changed at all. I started to wonder, is he remembering a past life?
My brother died when he was 19. I have dreams about what happened with my brother.
I was trying to get answers, more pieces to the puzzle, so I asked him, is there anything else that you remember? He told me that he thinks he was 45 when he died. And he says, well, I do remember these numbers, 1959. I put it together in my head. I said, that's a year. I thought, well, it could be his year of birth. If he was really born in 1959, and like he says, died at age 45, that would have meant he would have died around 2004, 2005. El Hadji was born in 2006. I've researched war and the 1959 that he was talking about, and Vietnam War era popped up. 1959 was the start of the Vietnam War. If who El Hadji was born in 1959, and he was around 4 or 5 when his brother supposedly died, that would have meant his brother was fighting in a war during the Vietnam War era. There were many men that died at 19 in the Vietnam War. I said, if you really can remember that your brother did go to the military, do you remember where you lived, about your life? And he said, yeah, I lived in Canada. Just like that. All I know is that U.S. men fled to Canada in order to not go to Vietnam. It just wasn't adding up.
I lived in Canada, but I died when I was 45. I don't remember how I died.
When he told me that, I thought maybe it wasn't the Vietnam War because Canada didn't fight in it. But then I thought, let me just do some research. I found out that although Canada was neutral in the war, about 30,000 Canadians actually joined the war in the Vietnam. Of those men, 110 died, and 7 were missing in action. It all started coming together real quick, and that was a big moment for me, that to find out that what he was actually saying was true.
Monica just think maybe Elijah was here in another life and just come back, but my religion does not allow me to believe on that.
I do believe that one of those 110 men were probably El Haji's brother that were killed in action.
It makes me sad when I think about him dying. Like, I still think about him.
There must have been some trauma in his other life for him to carry it over to this life. Remember, it must have went deep. Maybe he just never got to say goodbye.
Like, God wants us to know something, but if we don't do it, like, we have to do our life again. You have to live a lot of lives before you get it right.
Elijah scares me right now. As a father, I want him to have a normal life. He's not gonna be just scared all his life thinking about those things.
I want to take him to a place where these fallen soldiers are honored, and so they aren't forgotten.
Keep out of fountain.
We're gonna go down this way because I have something to show you. Right now we're at the Veterans Memorial Park. I really wanted to take Elijah here so that we can kind of acknowledge the facts that he did have this past life. I'm not denying it in any way. That way he can move on and have some closure with it. There's a special reason we could be here today. We're here to honor your brother that was a soldier. Well, soldiers actually fought in different wars, and we're gonna go to the Vietnam Memorial. I don't want him to feel sad anymore. I want him to be El Haji. I want him to know who he is in this life, that he has a purpose in this life, and be El Haji, be my son. Look at all these names.
Dang.
These are all names of people that died serving their country in the Vietnam War. Someone left something here special. And I know your brother's name is not on this list, probably. I guess it could be, you never know. There's years up here. 1962, 63, 64, 65.
No, it was 63.
You think it was?
It was 63.
When he died?
Uh-huh.
You can say goodbye to your brother.
No.
Why not,
No.
buddy? You don't want to focus on living this life?
I
You're
kind
El
of
Haji.
do, but not too much.
This is a memorial, and it's a place to remember, so we're never gonna forget him. You can say goodbye to your brother so that you can focus on this life. It's okay to let go now, because that was the last life, and this is this life. You understand that?
Mm-hmm. I understand.
Good. You can just say goodbye. And when we put our soldier down, I hope that gives you some peace. This is about Elijah having closure with his life. I don't want him to forget his past life at all, but I need him to focus on the now. And basically the whole point of what we did today was to remember that he did have a brother, but he doesn't have to be sad about it anymore. He can move on.